Welcome, good people, to yet another exciting and informative episode of our tech show, Innovate. Here we bring you everything there is for you from the world of technology, both here in Uganda as well as globally. We also bring you the young minds that better the technology we use every single day or make the best of the things from the simplest of materials. But just before we get into that, a sneak peek of what we have for you on the show. This week on Innovate, we bring you Mozy that has found a niche in creating extensions using plastic. Also, the city rider that will help you move your package from one place to another in no time. We bring you Mozy that has found a niche in making products out of using plastic. Talk of extensions, radios, light bulbs, name it. Most of the things in electronics, he has been able to remold and make just to fit the Ugandan market. Now we bring him as he tells us his story on how he started and how these products actually work. Take a look. Mozy, a Senior 6 dropout, has found a niche in creating new products from the simplest of materials.
It is a project that I founded after I realized I have some talent. I was creative at first, and I realized there is something I can do. So the only way to succeed was to make up a project so that we become a group, not one person. And I began with making radios until I kept on advancing and discovering other products. Like right now we can make radios, extensions, lights, subwoofers. We can even assemble DVD players, and we are now making sure that we are calling out to research on how we can make a solar panel. We have tried, but we haven't succeeded yet.
Even without going to class to study engineering, Mozy can create, assemble, and also develop new products that are actually usable.
It's out of creativity that I am in a position to do whatever I'm doing currently. And I've not begun I didn't begin like yesterday or last year, no. It's about 15 years, because my first time to make a radio, I was in P4.
From the desire to create better and long-lasting products on the Ugandan market to being unique, Mozy started by making a radio.
Began as a technician. I used to repair radios when I was still young. When I grew up and I went to town, I realized that repairing radios cannot earn you a living alone. So I had to learn how to repair other devices, electrical appliances. I started with TVs. I could repair TVs, woofers, computers, almost all electrical appliances. So from there, I realized, out of research from internet, I realized there is what we call reverse engineering technology. Under reverse engineering technology is that you look at what you are repairing, try to study it, and you realize the weaknesses in what you are repairing, and you say, can't I advance? Can't I make a copy and eliminate all these weaknesses? This is how I began. And right now, I'm happy to say that I succeeded, because now currently the 3 products that I'm able to make, I tried to eliminate all the errors I was seeing in the other products that I've been repairing.
Mozy centers much on the extensions that he puts together using copper and plastic jerrycans.
When you look at the extension cable that I make, I realized most of the extension cables that you see, anyway, in English we call them extension cords, but commonly known as extension cables. But the extension cords, I realized that most of the extension cords that we see on market, they have what we call loose connection, whereby when you plug in something, you're not supposed to shake the cable. When you shake it, it will go off. When I realized that weakness, I had to look for ways on how to make a tight cable that when you plug in something, it tightly touches what you have plugged in to make sure that there is no loose connection. And then I had to look at the weakness, because most of the cables that we see on market, when you overload it, it will blow. Then I had to realize there is something to be done. I had to innovate by changing the type of wire, the wiring inside, and the cable plug that you plug on the wall. And then I made sure that I changed the wire, I changed the wiring inside and the cable, and now I've succeeded because now I have a cable that can even do, can work with these people of fabrication, can do welding.
But how authentic are these products and what makes them durable?
The appearance it looks relatively the same, but what is inside, it was my major emphasis. What is inside is purely mine. However, I always tell people when it comes to manufacturing, like you will wake up one day and look at, I've taken time to realize when you look at a metal, you look at a metal and say, this metal, how did it come into existence? God never made a metal, but he made soil. That the soil, which soil is being used to make that metal. So when I get a stick, you can use it as firewood. Someone will use it like timber. Someone will use it. It has various purposes. You can use it in any form you feel like. So my purpose is to look at which material can I use to make what I want.
Many of us may look at old jerry cans as a waste, but for Moses it's a pot of wealth.
I looked around and said, I can recycle plastic and come up with something. I began with recycling whichever plastic I could come across, until I realized it is only gel can and the yellow gel can that can be recycled, and you come up with a piece that you can use to make what you want, or you use to make a box.
With a technician background, Moses is able to put one and one together, just like he explains.
Majorly we use copper when it comes to making to wiring those extensions. Copper is the most important material or kind of metal that you can use. If not copper, aluminium. So I had to look for ways of getting copper and aluminium. As
a startup, the market for his products is still limited, but he hopes to expand it with time.
Currently, I'm operating from Uganda. We are operating from Uganda. But at times we move, as in we do hawking at times. We do hawking. At times we come even to Kampala here. At times we go to Jinja like that. We move. And at times when there are some workshops, we try to attend. So in that due course, we make some sales.
The extensions come in different sizes and at different prices.
Talk about the extension cords. We have extension cords in 3 phases or 3 types. The first one has it has 7 ways. The one of 7 ways, it looks circular in its shape. The circular one, it has 7 ways, and that means it goes for 20K. The reason as why it has 7 ways is that I realized other codes on market, the ones that other people know as the best, they have 4 ways and it goes for 25,000. But mine has 7, an addition of 3 ports. That to make sure that you will not complain. And I have a one, the second one has 10 ports. It goes for 30K. It has 10 ports, and that one is best for people who are doing phone charging. And then the third one goes for 35K. It has 12 ways or 12 ports. That one is also best for phone charging. But the circular one it is the most okay for someone who wants to use it at home. The circular one, because the 10-way always for these people who are doing business, phone charging, what. But if you have many appliances at home, you can go for 10-way, you can go for 12-way. They work the same, but the difference in prices, it is because of the ports, the ways that it has, and the size.
The extensions, inverters, radios, and light bulbs that Moses makes come with a number of unique features, just like he tells us.
Because with radios, I realized there are many radios, all the radios, those cassette radios that we used to have long time ago. No one is interested, this generation, no one is interested in tape, what. So most of the people, they just dumped those radios away. So I realized I can get those radios and get some chips, I assemble them and come up with something that can work. So what I first realized that most of the radios, you find the radio is good, but power consumption is too high. That means someone from my typical down there, the village where I come from, may not be in a position to use a radio that will consume dry cells for 2 days. It is over. So I had to realize to look for a way of making a radio that can at least go for 2 weeks with cells. and this is two dry cells. So that's the unique part of it. And then the box of it, alias other radios, when it falls down, the first thing you lose is the handle, and then you lose the aerial, and then you lose the box. So when I realized that I had to come up with the knowledge of making a box which is strong, that it is very hard to fall and it breaks. It is hardly found. It can fall fine, it can even break fine, but the chances are low of it to break.
The sky is only the beginning for this young mind that plans to make greater products from readily available material.
I never began with what I'm making now. I began with a radio. I kept on advancing and discovering other things until right now I can make some good products, around 5, because I can make extension cords, I can make radios, I can make lights, I can make subwoofers, and right now I'm dealing with how I can make a good solar panel that is better than the one we are seeing.
It never takes a very short break, but don't touch your dial as we bring you more from the world of technology.